NASA's been putting up with a lot of criticism from all over the place, with some claiming that they've already found alien life on Mars, and others saying that they need to produce more evidence if they're to be taken seriously. Whatever side of the argument you're on, these 5 alien species caught by NASA on Mars are our way of addressing the issue and helping to keep the debate rational. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Anonymous. Anonymous recently claimed that NASA was incredibly close to finding alien life on other planets, sparking quite a lot of controversy. The notorious hacker activist group didn't have much to back up their theory, however. They quite simply stated the obvious, which is that we're now able to chart distant galaxies with more precision than ever before, and it's only a matter of time before we eventually bump into an alien species. That's not the hard evidence that all the fanfare seemed to suggest, but it does make sense. We just think that whoever's in charge of Anonymous needs to step their game up in a big way. Sure, NASA's on the verge of being able to make contact and communicate with alien species, so to speak. This doesn't really sum up the entire issue behind the if and when of such discoveries being made, if they're ever made at all in our lifetime. The odds are stacked against us, at least in the next little while, with Anonymous's claims being a little misguided and their announcement just a little too early to make any real headlines. People are still buying into all of their nonsense, however, and we thought we'd take some time to set the record straight. We get what they're trying to do, but trying to make themselves a part of something much larger than themselves comes across as petty. Anonymous is really grasping at straws these days, and we can't believe that they've sunk so low. They were never to be taken seriously to begin with, and this just proves as much. The great hacker collective picking on NASA is just a ploy to increase the belief in bogus conspiracy theories around the world, and we're not buying it. Furthermore, we can't really get behind it, especially when they're going out of their way to spread disbelief. NASA is making real strides when it comes to space research, and we can really expect good things to come soon. We also think that they'd tell us the second they did. NASA's really given us no reason not to trust them, and we can't wait until they finally do find life on other planets. Hopefully this happens in our lifetimes, but we're not holding our breath just yet. A planet having life on it doesn't necessarily mean that said life will be intelligent. The red planet may not have Martians running around on its surface, but there's still a chance, however small, that microbial life is still clinging to some rock in some cave somewhere on Mars, and that's pretty cool to consider. Number 4. Skull. Speaking of theories, one image is circulating around the internet with plenty of people hopping on board and saying that it could be proof of alien life on Mars. Not just that, they say that the scene portrays evidence of an ancient battle complete with shields and warriors. At least, that's what they'd think of when they see a blurry image of what NASA says are just rocks and nothing more than that. We assume it's kinda like looking at clouds, hoping to see something familiar in them. When it's just clouds, you can be sure what you're seeing isn't real, but it seems that plenty of people have managed to convince themselves that random rock formations and features must be signs of something strange. You really have to be trying extra hard to see some of the structures and buildings that some people see, but we have to admit that this formation does look pretty cool. Despite the fact that it's blurry and out of focus, zoomed in and altered beyond recognition, this photo does kinda look like a skull. We're not so sure about the shield that people see, but that being said, we don't think that this is evidence of any aliens that were caught on NASA's cameras. It's fun to imagine these things and even look for evidence yourself, but posting outlandish claims of irrefutable proof all over the place and sucking people into the hype unnecessarily is just ridiculous. When all's said and done, NASA did find something interesting, but that something is probably nothing more than a rock formation. What is interesting to think about is that the microbial life that we mentioned in our first point could be lying not too far below that skull. There are so many more realistic theories that could help point us in the right direction and add to the conversation in a meaningful way, other than just posting blurry photos. We get that proof of that caliber is tough to come by, but we should then wait it out and leave the big statements to the people who know better. Don't get us wrong. We're still gonna report on all the news of strange events and creepy sightings, but we're also quite happy accepting the facts as they are. Speculation is one thing, but presenting it as fact just isn't our style. If you do think there's some merit to this story, don't be shy. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We're always happy to promote engaging discussions that help us all work our heads around these tough concepts. Number 3. Rover Discovery.